Today, I want to talk about how pain can actually be experienced as pleasure and how we can become addicted to our own unhappiness and actually indulge in our suffering. So, in order to understand this phenomenon, we firstly need to consider our past pain. We have a storehouse of past pain inside of us. The spiritual teacher Eckhart Tolle refers to it as the concept of the pain body. It is otherwise known as trauma. And this collection of past pain surfaces in the form of a bad mood, mind attacks, emotional uprises, and just general unhappiness and negativity. This collection of energy that lives inside of us can be likened to that of an entity. And when the pain body rises to the surface and it is active in us, it is actually looking for more negativity to feed on to survive. Now, the pain body cannot digest joy, and this is because it is composed of emotional pain. And we live in a world, energetically speaking, that is governed by the principle of vibration. And in this vibrational world that we live in, like attracts like. So, the pain body is simply not a vibrational match to things like joy. It can only feed on more pain and negativity. This is how it survives and thrives. So, since the pain body can only feed on pain, it loves pain in this kind of perverse way. And what we love, we find pleasurable, even though it's this kind of perverse sort of love that is created through the pain body. So, the pain body occasionally, as a result, experiences pain as pleasure.
Hermetic philosophy would suggest that through the spiritual, a universal principle of polarity, pain and pleasure are dual opposites and are therefore actually one and the same.
The only thing that differs is the rate of vibrational frequency that both states hold. So here we see how we easily yo-yo between pain and pleasure, since they are actually on the same scale. And this is why they seem so intertwined at times. So going back to our addiction to pain, you don't like the pain. Your physical, your mental, your emotional body is harmed through pain. So of course you don't like the pain, but your pain body does. So first of all, you really have to ask yourself the question, am I enjoying my unhappiness in some weird way? So it does take a little bit of honesty. We really need to sit there, be introspective, and be present throughout our day, especially when our pain body is at the surface. And we really need to ask ourselves, am I actually indulging in this mental, physical, and emotional negativity and suffering in some kind of weird way? So, bringing this conscious awareness to this enjoyment can actually really transform our experience on a day to day basis because we are actually awakening this higher perspective whereby we can eventually take the power away from the pain body. So here are a few examples of how our pain body can manifest pain as pleasure and how we can actually indulge in our pain, whether unconsciously or consciously. And so keep an eye out to see if you can actually detect any of this in yourself. So first of all, the pain body loves drama and it feeds on the emotional pain through drama. This can happen in any sort of relationship. People are fine and then suddenly there's a bad mood that crops up and this person is just gunning for an argument or seeking drama wherever they can find it. And that's a clear sign that their pain body is at the surface and looking for pain. The pain body will seek emotional pain through drama created in the external world, and this can be strangely enjoyable. Sometimes people can have like a smile on their face when drama has unfolded. Maybe they've caused two people to fall out and they're just kind of sat there watching it all. And, they look for drama as well, because people can look for drama because it makes them feel alive in a way. But at the end of the day, it's really just this complete illusion that is created by the pain body in order to sustain itself and in order to reinforce its existence. In some romantic relationships, people actually look to seek out lifelong partners that bring drama, that then brings this weird excitement through the drama. And that's their pain body just seeking pain, addicted to unhappiness. Also, loving unavailable people and, staying with intolerable people in these toxic relationships, that is another sign that love and pain have become somehow intertwined. And another interesting thing is that the pain body can really work through our sexual desires. So you've got what they call makeup sex, which is when the pain body kind of gives us this craving, and we crave this pleasurable sort of sex as a result of drama in the relationship. The pain body can also work through us sexually with physical pain, getting some kind of pleasure through inflicting pain on ourselves during sex. And this is what's well known as sadism and masochism. Another way that we can become addicted to our past pain is actually through dwelling on past hurt, past painful experiences. The mind may be continuously replaying these past painful experiences, and they can become, we can become really attached to stories of victimhood and resentment and anger that are associated with these experiences. And these are states of being that can really kind of take us over, because we're constantly reliving the pain, and in doing so we're actually unknowingly feeding the pain body and keeping it alive. Obviously, we want to take steps and action to heal ourselves, but we don't want to dwell on it. We don't want to let this linger. It's almost as if we're actually addicted to the negative thinking patterns that create these beliefs and these states of being, of victimhood and resentment and self-pity. The other day, my pain body was triggered, and I felt this influx of pain just rush to the surface. And I managed to stay conscious throughout it. So I was actually present with it. I was allowing, I was accepting, and I was consciously choosing not to feed this pain with more negative thoughts, more kind of catastrophizing in my mind. So, yes, I was able to acknowledge its existence, this energy. I witnessed it, and through this presence, I was able to really dissolve it. That's the power of bringing this presence to it. You're able to actually process the pain that you were not able to process at the time of its unfoldment. So everything was fine, and then I went to bed and I woke up the next day and I noticed this type of residue. It's almost as if the pain body had sneakily crept back to the surface, and it was active again, and it was working through my mind and through my thoughts. And, I realized that there was a part of me that was actually really indulging in this melancholic mood that the thoughts were creating. I really wanted to just go and feel sorry for myself and listen to really sad music and, cry and stuff like that. And I was like, hang on a minute, I felt this kind of perverse, unrestrained emotional pleasure in my pain. And at that moment, I realized that I was loving the negative thinking and somewhat drawn into my own unhappiness. At which point, I was really able to kind of deeply step out of identification with this mind pattern, and I let it all go. So through this kind of disidentification and through actually choosing happiness in that moment, choosing my thoughts, I was no longer able to fuel this pain body attack. I was actually able to really shine the light of conscious attention onto it, not feeding it attention through unconscious ways, but actually giving it this light instead, this positive kind of attention through the light of awareness. And in doing so, it really couldn't survive, it couldn't thrive. So, yeah, it just went back to its dormant state. And as I said, I actually had to really choose happiness in that moment because a part of me didn't want to get out of it. And if we're not aware, we can totally go blind to this. Like, I really wanted to bask in my sadness. So it's no wonder that over time we can really get addicted to these mental patterns and these emotional states. Before long, they may even become part of our identity. And this is another way that we can really get addicted to our own suffering and unhappiness. This is through creating this negative self identity. Some people may develop a strong identification with their suffering or pain, and they actually define themselves by their past pain, by their past experiences. And in doing so, they actually reinforce the pain body's existence and unfortunately prevent themselves from experiencing inner peace and freedom. I've met people along my travels and I've worked with people in the past that are actually very challenging to work with because they actually don't want to be happy. They don't want to find peace, and that's their pain body, obviously, that's kind of consumed them. And it's become part of their perceived sense of self. And at which point, they need to let go of this false sense of self in order to really find inner peace. So, enough of the examples. I want to go into how we can actually approach this addiction to unhappiness. Now, obviously, there is nothing wrong with arising emotion. It is all part of the human experience. This is part of the reason why we came here, to feel emotion in all of its colors. So we cannot and should not deny emotion. But when the pain body arises, and it will you feed it and sustain it with more pain and negativity? Or will you simply be present with it? Will you allow it? Will you accept the emotion and let it be there, feeling it deeply? And in doing so, it will dissolve. So I used that example earlier of how I woke up the next day and I was very much in my mind. The pain itself had gone. The initial influx had gone. That had moved through me. I had managed to dissolve that. However, the pain body was cheekily working through my mind, and it was trying to create more emotional reaction. But I knew that I'd already processed this pain, and that was the pain body just trying to hang on. So you want to let go of accompanying negative thoughts in the mind to instead direct your attention into the body. Watch these negative thoughts from a place of detachment and breathe. Importantly, be aware that your pain body is at the surface. So really what we're doing is we're intending to be conscious. Awareness is everything. When we cast light into a dark room, then we cast out the darkness, and it's the same concept. We're just shining the light shining the light of awareness onto this pain body. And it is our identification with our pain and with the mind that is really fueling this pain body, because it is of the ego. However, through our objective perspective, that is not our ego, that is just pure awareness. And in our presence, we are sitting in pure awareness, in our deeper sense of self. And in that objective perspective, the pain body, it really cannot survive because you are not identifying with it. And over time, it will dissolve, it will lose its power. And when you're sitting there in that pain, choosing not to react, but just sitting there with it, don't expect it to go away instantly or something like that. Just accept that it's going to be there for as long as it needs to. But the real power, you are more empowered because you've actually choosing not to follow the impulses and not to act on them. Importantly, you're actually given the choice to choose peace instead. So the more you work with the pain body, the more you will actually kind of deprive it of its power, and it will dissolve. So try to be conscious of when your pain body is seeking drama or victimhood or some kind of strange enjoyment. And be conscious of when it is acting out addictive behaviors and seeking pleasurable rewards. So claim your freedom that is your birthright and really be aware of your pain body when it's at the surface, and really choose to dissolve your identification with the pain body. So like you think you are these negative thoughts, you think you are this pain, and as long as you identify with it, then that is the entire scope of your perception. It's just this small little perception of what is going on. But you are much greater than your pain body. You are infinitely more vast and greater than your pain body. It is not truly who you are. Your emotions are energy, and your thoughts are energy, all of which are temporary forms that are just temporarily arising within your awareness. So become more identified and become more aware of yourself as the awareness, as that greater perspective, as that greater sense of self. So thank you so much for watching this video. My name's Jasmine. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. And I'm offering free 20 minutes video chats if you want to chat with me one-on-one. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye 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 bye.